I'm Mary Hallahan. I'm the Executive Director for Santa Fe Wine and Chili Fiesta. I moved here June of last year, so this is just my second Fiesta. And prior to that, I was with Nantucket Wine and Food, came out here with opportunity driven and fell in love with Santa Fe. And we're celebrating our 31st annual Fiesta this year. A huge evolution since 1991. The Fiesta started in an old mall parking lot with about 20 vendors. 10 restaurants, 10 wineries. You had to have a chit, to get a food taste or a sample at each one. And 30 years later, we have about 28 events over the 5 days, all daytime events. Our mission is to market the city of Santa Fe as a world-class culinary destination, and to really promote the wine and the food industry here. So at night, you'll see there's a lot of dinners on our website, about 30 to 40 that happen over the course of the Fiesta, and that's all for the restaurants. So the restaurants and wineries come together, they partner on these dinners, and so we by intention, don't do any evening programming, and it's really meant for everyone here in Santa Fe to enjoy our events during the daytime and then to support our restaurants in the evening. We are a nonprofit. We're a 501c3. I report to a board of directors. There's about 20 on them. It's a working board. So I oversee all operations, all marketing, all the administration of the Fiesta. And then we run lean. We're a small organization. So Greg O'Byrne, who's pouring at the Champagne Lansone station, he's our production director. So he does a lot of logistics. Our office manager, John, he's over at the Champagne brunch today. We have Erica from our team who's checking guests in. So we're small but mighty. Bishop's Lodge, they underwent a renovation and new ownership just, I think, within the past couple of years. This is an auberge property, award-winning globally. So a beautiful, stunning property. They have a new Chef Pablo who came from Mexico City, worked in Michelin-rated restaurants. So this is their first year doing programming with wine and chili. And so Chef Pablo was involved in our grand tasting yesterday. He gave a great auction event for Thursday, our live auction luncheon. They're hosting here today. So this is our first time, but I already heard from Angelica that they want us back next year. I love all the rosés here, but Miraval from Vineyard Brands has a gorgeous special etched bottle that they did for wine and chili. So you should definitely check that out, and that's definitely going to be my next stop after the champagne. Yeah, it's beautiful. They gave us one for the auction. They have one here today. I was actually bidding on it because it's beautiful. It's a white etching in the bottle, really nicely done. September 27th through October 1st. And we'll be celebrating our 32nd annual. I'm excited to see everyone back again.
Hi there, I'm Matthew Accarino from SPQR in San Francisco, and I'm here at Wine and Chili. And today, for the Rosé All Day event, we're pouring some rosé champagne and pairing that with a potato gnocchi that has a summer ragu of corn, saffron, chilies, tomato, finished with some ricotta salata cheese.
Champagne for my real friends, real pain for my sham friends. Right over here, baby.
Pouring Etiroca Rosé. I'm the National Sales Director for Jose Pastor Selections. That's our back label. We're pouring super elegant, very pretty rosé from Grenache and Macabeo. This is from the Canary Islands. This is Lara Carrera Rosado. This is a female farmer winemaker named Dolores Cabrera Fernandez. This is pure volcanic soils, and it's kind of a more of expressive rosé.
We are with Thornburg, which is a local asset-based firm in Santa Fe. And then what we're doing here today, Women of Thornburg is one of our employee resource groups here at the firm. So as Rosé All Day, we wanted to come promote women at the event, and it also really fits with the rosé theme. So we've decided to do an environmental angle and an inclusivity angle. So we have a non-alcoholic beverage that we're sponsoring here and doing a little taste test. So instead of a rosé tasting, we're doing a sparkling water tasting. So we have everyone take their pick across the three, they can taste it, and then we're tracking what people like the most just for fun, and then we'll announce the winner at the end. And then we're helping people be hydrated. And then our environmental story is we're trying to promote less plastic bottled single-use products. So we're doing recyclable aluminum in cans instead of in plastic bottles.
My name is John Rowley. I'm the brewmaster at Rowley Farmhouse Ales here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Today we're making some a la minuit New England clam chowder. It's one of Jeffrey's signature dishes at the the brewery and tap room, and we're also pouring a beer today that is very rosé-like. It's a collaboration between us and Topless Creek, and it's a beer we call If You Must. It's a beer that's aged in barrels that we received from them on their must. So it's really unique. Hope you get to try it.
I am Catherine Kutcher with Vineyard Brands. Today we're here with Miraval and Studio by Miraval. So Miraval comes from Provence, from the estate, and Studio by Miraval also come from the estate and from the Riviera. What makes it very special, so it comes from Provence, from the southeast of France. The estate is close to a town called Correns, which is the first organic town in France, and it's all estate fruits.
Chorizo empanadas, and we're also gonna have like some hamachi tostadas with that skill sauce, guacamole, and some micro cilantro in the top.
My name's David. I'm with Favorite Brands, it's one of the distributors in New Mexico, and we have today the couple of rosés, one from Austria by Gobelsberg, and it's a blend of Zweigelt, Saint Laurent, and Pinot Noir. And the Spanish one is from Tierra de Leon, which is in the sort of northwest corner of Spain, and it's Prieto Pecudo.
Tony Smith, I'm here with Rome Samuel. We're from the Inn & Spa Loretto, Luminaria restaurant. We're serving a watermelon jalapeno gazpacho with a little bit of pickled strawberries, fresh watermelon, toasted coconut, and a little mint on top.
This is a Wisconsin cheddar bean chips.
Nice.
How about some caviar for you too?
Have a little there.
Got a beautiful spread here by Beck and Bulow. Caviar, we're sharing oysters today. We've got our bison sausage, and all kinds of fine imported cheeses from Europe. So, a little bit of everything, all delicious, all amazing, good quality.
What's my favorite? The bison tartare for sure. And we've been putting it on top of the oysters.
Santa Fe School of Cooking, and we will be celebrating 33 years in business in December. My mom had a midlife crisis and woke up in the middle of the night and made a list of things that were interesting to her, and this is what made the cut. And we actually bought this building 10 years ago. So we rented for 23 years and moved over here. We had a little time period where we weren't able to stay in our old location, so we did classes. This was under construction, so we did classes at the convention center, at my mom's home. A customer let us use her house, so we had a weird summer for a while of trying to keep things rolling while we were finishing up the new space. Buying this building and moving over here is the best thing we've done. It's a lot bigger. We can run multiple events at the same time, and it's a historic building, and it's just nice to have your own place. She loved entertaining, and she grew up on a cattle ranch outside of Jackson Hole, and so her a large one, and along the banks of the Snake River. And so her mom was cooking a huge meal. Lunch was the huge meal every day for all the ranch hands, and they were using ingredients that they went and picked on the property and the beef that they were raising. So it was all very farm to table, and this was a long time ago. So every day her mom prepared a big meal for about 30 people, and so that's kind of where her love of cooking and entertaining came from. And then when we moved here to New Mexico because my dad worked at the Los Alamos National Lab, and my mom really realized there was a void because this is such a unique cuisine and a lot of history, rich history, culinary history here. And so she was like, oh, I think I should open a cooking school and share this with visitors to the area. And it took a little tweaking to figure out exactly how it was going to work and everything. But so now, and we opened with a mission to celebrate the food, farming, and agriculture of New Mexico and support local ingredients and locally farmed things. And so we've always served local New Mexican wine, and we have boxes where we grow some of our own food, and we get some food from some of actually our staff that work here, we have one lady in particular that has a large acreage, and we buy stuff from her. Source local as much as we can. We use local New Mexican eggs, et cetera, et cetera. And that was back, 33 years before it was cool to source local, right? So now we do a lot of New Mexican food, but we also talk about the different cultural influences here. Obviously, the Native population has lived here longer than anybody else, so we do Native American cooking classes. The Spanish came in the 1500s and brought domesticated animals and stone fruit, wine, and so we do some Spanish classes and talk about how that changed the original food here. And then of course Coyote Cafe kind of made this a food town over 30 years ago, and kind of contemporary food scene. So we also do contemporary Southwestern classes now. Mexican classes are really important because a lot of people come here and think they're eating Mexican food, and they might be, and there's some influence, but New Mexican food is very different from Mexican food. We're a landlocked area. We don't grow much. We grow corn, beans, squash, and chili, and a few other things, but those are our primary things that we grow and eat here. And Mexico has 2 coasts, and it's a lot easier to grow things in particularly some of the southern regions. So very different cuisines, and so we like to kind of educate people about the difference between New Mexican and Mexican as well. We call this the third daughter of the family. I was in college when she started this, and my dad and sister and I felt very neglected for a few years when she was getting this going. She was 100% involved in this. I actually really understand where she was at, because I now have my kids going, one's in college and my other one's going to be in college soon. So I get, you have all this time and energy, and I'm kind of envious that my mom had that at that time now. I'm kind of trying to fill my time a little bit, but so I really understand now the space that the Santa Fe School of Cooking came from. She lives really close. She walks down with her dog. She was here this morning. But she travels a lot, and she does kind of big picture stuff, just to make sure that it's still on track with her vision of what she imagined. But she doesn't come down and ring up sales or welcome the customers. Or she's actually kind of shy. She had to do a Toastmasters class when she started. I'm not shy, so I can get in there and do. But so she just kind of comes and makes sure. She likes to plant the flowers. She gets to pick the fun stuff. We do make her ring in sales at Christmas because we get really, really busy with holiday orders during Christmas. This is our retail market. 95% of everything we have in here is made in New Mexico. There's a few things we cheat on. Mostly the big cheat is the pottery from Colombia. We love this stuff. And I'm going to take you in the classroom, but we use it in pretty much all the classes that we do. And it just feels very like us. It's very organic and earthy, not too fancy. Gorky Gonzalez is from Mexico, and we love that stuff too. A few Spanish items for sale because of the Spanish influence, but primarily then the rest is made in New Mexico stuff. Yeah, we love locals, we love tourists, but the locals we do in the slow season, which is the winter, although everything's kind of upside down and topsy-turvy since COVID. January, February, and March used to be very slow, but then last year we had just reopened, so it was really busy, and so there's really no rhyme or reason anymore. I think people are just anxious to go traveling. But anyway, typically the way things have worked is that we run half-price classes in the winter. We call them bonus classes, and those are almost all locals that come in and take advantage of the discounted price on the classes. So we certainly love our locals. That's who spreads the word and brings their visitors and things like that. But probably our tourists are 90% of our business. So it's a great place to start when you come to Santa Fe because we'll help you kind of learn the basics of the cuisine, and it helps you understand what you're eating at restaurants here in town. We have 7. Yeah, we rotate between 7. Right now, we're just getting ready to, we're in our busiest season right now. We only have 1 class today, which is really unusual right now. And that was sort of planned because we just came off wine and chili, and it's a really busy few days for us. And then Thursday, we start our balloon fiesta season where we just get tour buses full of people. So having 1 class in a day is a treat, 1 small class. So I almost scheduled more classes, and then I was like, you know what, I think we'll just kind of get our feet on the ground. This is our patio, which is our next thing I want to kind of fix up and get generating some kind of income. We don't really use it much right now, but put up awnings. They're getting ready to redo Guadalupe Street to make it more pedestrian friendly. So I'm kind of waiting until they do that, and then We do have in the past run classes outside here, like summer classes featuring the wood burning oven. This is the commercial kitchen, the behind the scenes kitchen. This is Chef Noe. Noe Kano has been here for 28 years. So he teaches the classes, he orders all the food, does all the prep. These are basically his kitchens that everybody else gets to use. So when we have like a big corporate dinner or wine dinner, a lot of the food will be done here, and then we'll just take the mise en place out on the other room, and the chef will demo, the recipe for ×1. So this is kind of where this is Raphael, and this is Chef Alan. He's teaching a class right now. But so it's nice to have this space too if your ovens break or something like that. Our old space that we rented in for 23 years, we didn't have anything other than the kind of kitchen I'm going to show you, but even that was much smaller. So, yeah. Yeah. His family still comes in all the time, and I can show you, we have a tree planted in his honor. And I love it because it's very, it's very clear. This is Kyle and his brother. His brother also died during COVID. This is their apricot tree. We actually use a lot of apricots here. And so the idea is that he'll be giving to our people that come through the door for years and years. And it's only been here a year, and it gave us 7 apricots this year. And his family comes and they have their own ceremonies, but they put ash and they come and sing sometime. We hate to not have Kyle with us, but it's kind of brought us together with his family. A little history about the building. This building was originally built to be a Packard dealership. So when we had our grand opening, we brought the first Packard they sold off the lot. This particular group is making their own lunch. This is a hands-on class. We do demos. We had a demo on Sunday for 35 people. So they sat and took notes. I call them a show. They're very entertaining. They're fun. And so on Sunday we had 35 people following along, asking questions, taking notes, and then they got to eat lunch at the end. And then we do lots of, this actually is a private event, but we do lots of events, private events that aren't on our calendar for corporate team building, retreats. Local companies do like client appreciation. Actually, that's the biggest difference in our business since we bought this building, is we just do lots and lots of private events in here, and it's fantastic. Yeah, we also pick, we usually do a couple of fundraisers for the community of the year. We pick things that kind of mean something to us. So we work with Cooking with Kids. I'm doing one for actually Alzheimer's. My dad passed away from Alzheimer's, and so we're doing something on healthy eating habits to help your brain.
This is the burn first in here? I'm telling you, in order to put it in order, yeah. Passion fruit concentrate.
What's that for a double boiler?
It looks like somebody started eating in the kitchen. You do it by feel.
But this is the only
I'll be right back. You're fine. It's perfect. I'm not going to shoot.
It's of a real chef here.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, we're coming with the team.
This is stuffing for the chicken. Will it look good? Yeah.
When you're cooking a protein, meaning, let's go eggs and meat. At 120, a protein starts stiffening. Okay? At, let's say, 280, that's a little hot, it's totally stiff. The way you tell if it's stiffening or not is by the feel of it, okay? And if it feels wobbly like that, that means it's raw or rare. If you close your hand and you get a little resistance with this flesh, that means it's about medium rare. If you clench your fist like you're going to punch him in the face, it's firm, it's done, and you got to stop. You got to also remember there's something called carryover heat. So when you remove it from this pan, it's going to cook 8 to 10 degrees more. So if you want the chicken just done, you want to take it out just above medium rare. You want it just done because we can't serve it like this. We got to reheat it. That's going to cook it more. Okay?
Makes sense.
That's really technical and that's highly professional because a lot of people can't follow that very well. Learning this feel takes years. It's not something you can leave here going, oh, I know how to do that, and it doesn't work.
So this is all residential equipment up here, even though it's not getting used like a residential kitchen, but we want it to feel homey and unintimidating. So we have to replace this kitchen quite frequently because we wear stuff out pretty fast. About every 3 to 4 years. I mean, this gets used, heavily used. And we've tried everything, like Viking, Thermidor. We've tried every Wolf. So it's just, but it's what works for the space and the environment, I think. So we want it to feel very doable at home.
I'm very lucky, I'm very fortunate to be in a profession that I love. You know, that I come and I don't come to work, I come to do something that I love to do, and it's my whole job. No, you know what, I'm a firm believer that customers like to come and find something that they can find all the time that they visit Santa Fe or my locals come to Sazón and find the same dishes. As well, I do some specials. You know, we changed some specials. We have different moles, and we have a different fish, and I add some specials. You know, whatever is available. I would think that probably the percentage of locals and tourists is probably 70% tourists, more or less 60, 70. But they are tourists that they come often. You know, they come 2-3 times a year. And not only that, because most of them, they go back to town and they tell their family, their friends, their neighbors, everybody that they know about Sazón. So when the people that they know come to Santa Fe, they try to don't miss to visit Sazón. So, and it's great because many times you feel that because you're a tourist, you know, that they won't take care of you. So at Sazón we take the same care for everybody that comes, local tourists, regulars and regulars, and that's been great, you know, that the tourists have been referring other people, you know. So it's been very great ride in the culinary adventure.
Last year you won the James Beard Award?
This year.
This year?
In June 13. Yes, in June 13 I was awarded Best Chef of the Southwest by the James Beard Foundation. It's just work, you know, it's like, as we call it, you know, instant success after 32 years in the restaurant industry, you know. I do some of the cooking. I have a great staff that they execute beautiful. So what I do is what any GM, manager, executive chef does, overview the whole operation. I have a few and different colors, and you know, it's very interesting because when I moved to Santa Fe from Mexico City, I used to wear a 3-piece suit. And I remember one Friday I went to a very popular establishment, restaurant, bar, called the Pink Adobe. That was one of the most popular places at that time. And I went Friday around 6 o'clock with my suit, normal, and everybody looked at me like an strange person, you know, what the heck is this guy doing here? So after that, when I noticed that people wasn't looking at me, I left the place and I changed my 3-piece suit for a jeans, hat, and boots. You know, and that's been my costume, my outfit for the past 32 years. Well, we try to source local ingredients, but we find what what we can get, and we find it from different purveyors, you know. Like zucchini blossoms, to give you an example. Zucchini blossoms, when they are local, it's between April and July, something like that. We get it local, but people like zucchini blossoms all year long. So we get it from California or from Florida, you know, and try to satisfy the demand for something like that. I have been part of the Wine and Chili Festival for many years, 20 plus years. I'm a past president of the Wine and Chili Fiesta. You know, I'm still board of directors, and you know, as active. I'm trying to be as active as I can in the community and anything that is related to food. I'm a past president of the New Mexico Restaurant Association, CEO. I'm a past president of the Santa Fe Restaurant Association, and trying to be active, like I said, in anything that involves the community. I talk with everybody, and I want to welcome everybody, and I want to be sure that everybody receives the service that I want to provide. What I said, you know, and I tell my staff, just imagine that everybody that come and dine with us are your best friend. How will you greet them? That's the way that I want you to take care of them, you know. And something else that I tell is you work to take care of the guests, to provide service. You don't work for tips. Tips come as a result of you providing great service, you know. And my customers and friends are very happy with the service. I'm very, very lucky. I have a great staff. You know, they work very hard, but they get the reward. What I do, I prepare food for special guests that we have, or some special diet requirements, some allergies, or special things that my guests need. I do a special, personally I take special care of them. This is a mural that a friend of mine, an artist called Federico León de la Vega from Mexico and Puerto Vallarta, he painted with me when I created the New Mexican Mole. In 2009, we celebrate the 400-year anniversary of Santa Fe, and my gift for the celebration and to New Mexico, and especially to Santa Fe, was create a mole called the New Mexican Mole, which main ingredients are apricots, pecans, piñon nuts, red chimayo chili, and white chocolate.
Well, Kakawa was really founded on the long history of chocolate. So that is really what we focus on, and that really started with the drinking elixir. So we have 18 different drinking elixirs, and we call it a little time traveling for the palate. So they sort of span history. They go back to Mayan and Aztec time periods. And they're not just sort of made up with the names. They were actually researched by a food anthropologist. We were able to actually get those recipes from him. We have some old European recipes that, again, sort of give you a few points in history, a few people that were really chocolate lovers, if you will. So people like the Medici family or the Medici family that grew citrus. They loved citrus. We have their recipe from 1666. We have Marie Antoinette's recipe from 1775, and of course she was a huge chocolate lover. Maybe she would have kept her head if she'd shared more of it, but she actually loved it so much she brought her own chocolatier with her when she moved to Versailles. So she was really one of the original chocolate lovers, if you will. And then of course we have some colonial American recipes, and of course contemporary blends that we create. So we're always creating new ones as well. Different kinds of flavors and ingredients. We love to utilize local ingredients and purveyors, growers, whenever we can to support the areas that we're in. So for example, we have a store in Salem, Massachusetts, which is the only one outside of Santa Fe, and just began researching that area and getting to know that history, and began to learn even more about the spice trade that was coming through Salem in that harbor. And that was actually how we created the Salem Spice Elixir, learning about this captain who actually traded primarily in black pepper, which was one of the primary spices that he was bringing in at that time. So all these different things that we can continue to learn about ancient history, newer history, and then sort of blending that into contemporary flavors and palettes and new ingredients, if you will. So that's really where the bulk of our business started. And then really from there, over the last almost 15 years, we've grown into all different types of chocolate, amazing truffles, caramels, house-made organic ice creams and sorbets. So a lot of different products that capture that same spirit, if you will, that same essence. Everything completely preservative-free. We don't use any stabilizers or anything like that. We don't use ingredients like corn syrup. We use things like agave, honey, coconut sugar. So those kinds of ingredients that make it a little more unique, a little more special, sometimes a little harder to work with and a little more expensive, but we really believe that you can also taste not just the love that's in it, but all those great ingredients. We have a whole team of chocolatiers, so it's really a collaborative issue, if you will. We like to sort of take ideas from everybody, right? Like you might have a great idea and say, well, what about this combination? So we'll sort of work on that and play with it and see if it's a great idea, if people in general like it. We do little testing, so we may come up with something that we really love, and then we want other people to test it. So to say, do you like this too? Do you understand the reason that we were doing this? You know, that's one of the fun things about really getting to know people and trying to be able to have a few moments with them to sort of explain what it is that we do. Because many people do come in and they're like, well, I like milk chocolate, or I don't want all those other things in my chocolate. And when they have an opportunity to learn why we do what we do, why we have these different kinds of combinations, or why we're trying to highlight that long history of chocolate, sometimes it will allow them to maybe say, well, maybe I'll try that. I've never had it before, you know, and it sort of opens or broadens their mind in terms of what the possibilities are, that there are things beyond just maybe a simple classic chocolate or something like that. You know, people have varying degrees of interest, whether or not they want to learn a lot or they want to learn a little. People are actually pretty open and interested to try different things. So in particularly in the drinking elixirs, many times it's flavor combinations that they've never tried. Many people have never had chocolate and chili, even though it's thousands and thousands of years old in terms of that combination, not something that we came up with or created, even though we would love to take credit for that. People travel with our chocolates all the time, so it's not usually an issue. We'll package it up in boxing for them. We also ship all over the country, so we're familiar with how to package that for them, and we'll give them that sort of guidance or direction to say, you know, it doesn't need to be refrigerated, it just needs to be cool and dry. And obviously not putting it in checked luggage, keeping it in your carry-on, you know, little simple things like that that you think, oh, maybe I didn't think about that. But people travel with our chocolate all the time. So I would say, you know, sometimes they'll opt for doing something like one of our classic bars because it's sort of neat and packaged, so it's easy for them to travel with something like this. But absolutely, they can pick their own assortment. We do have some pre-made assortments that we can put together for them of sort of like bestsellers or flavors from New Mexico. But people also sometimes really like to sort of curate their own box, if you will. We were able to recently move all of our production into one location, which was a blessing for us. We actually started at our original flagship location in a tiny adobe house kitchen. So if you can imagine making chocolate in there, we were all pretty much back to back with each other, but having the opportunity to be able to spread out, have all of our machines where people can get to them, move to them, have storage, our refrigerators for all of our ingredients, has really been a blessing. So we're still getting used to it a little bit. We've only been in this location for a few months, but we're really excited about it. We do have obviously a flow and a process, and our general manager helps a lot with that, and she's basically going to go through on a daily basis and sort of give them their creating orders of what they're going to be doing that particular day. I always say we try to hire nice people first and foremost. That's the most important thing, and then train them. Some people do come to us with different kinds of skills. It might be sort of culinary skills or baking skills, and all of those things are applicable. And basically it's more attention to detail. So if you're following a recipe or looking for subtleties, baking and cooking and chocolate making are a science. So being able to pay attention to those little things are what's really important to us. And if it's a new recipe or an old recipe, obviously we're always sort of spot checking to make sure that things are as they are. And if you're using sort of seasonal ingredients, even things like chili, every chili batch can be a little bit different. So you need to know, even if it says, you know, put in half a cup of a really spicy chili versus maybe usually that particular varietal is a little milder, maybe you need to add a little less. So we're always doing, you know, cross-checking to make sure. Our tempering machines are our lifeblood. I love the fact that I walk back here and you can hear a little buzz undertone, and that's always there because those machines are on 24 hours a day. So they're always moving that chocolate. Even at nighttime, it's keeping it, even though it's a slightly lower temperature and a lower rotation, it's still keeping it moving. So I love that that's sort of alive, if you will. It basically is the raising and lowering of the temperature and moving it or manipulating that chocolate that allows you to have a glossy type of product. It depends what's happening in the environment. Typically it would be about coming in the morning and bringing the chocolate into temper, raising that, you know, that temperature up and then dropping it down slowly until it comes into temper. So typically that would happen once a day, but you can have environmental changes like a storm comes through. Right, changes the humidity or the barometric pressure or the temperature. So chocolate's pretty fickle. It's not an easy product to make. So suddenly we can see that our chocolate is thickening up and we have to actually re-temper it. It has fallen, what we say, out of temper. So we're not able to make a beautiful glossy product with it. We could still use it. It's not that it's inedible in any way, but it's not going to create a beautiful product. It's not going to create that thin, beautiful shell on a truffle